the solar market is booming. Everyone in the world is converting to the renewable energy. Projections suggest that 13% of the US homes have solar by 2030. So the opportunity is insane. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's frustrating your potential customers, like the moment they land on your page, then land on your website, and how strategic customer-centric design can be and quietly transform your website or your lead generation page or inbound lead generation without spending a dime on ads. So here's the hard truth. Huge chunk of people are looking for the services, specific services, and then they got lost. And before even calling you, before even they knowing you, they got lost. Why? Because their online experience is often frustrating, confusing, or maybe in fact breaks their trust from the very beginning. Stick around because today I'm going to dive deep and see how potential customers are really thinking and feeling online and how I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you each and every steps that can be helpful for your lead generation, for your sales, and let the website work for you. So what I'll uncover today is that how customer, when they land on your page, what do they think, what do they desire, and what are the pain points. So we'll pinpoint all of those elements and that build immediate trust and confidence when they're talking to you. The most importantly, I'll show you this how strategic is branding and website design can transform your online presence into your most effective 24/7 sales agent, one that pre-qualifies and pre-convinces leads, making those inquiry calls so much warmer. So by the end of this video, you will have a clear roadmap to dramatically improve your online presence and turns your website more visitors into high quality inbound lead generation without spending a single dime extra on it. Let's get real about the disconnect. The solar industry is exploding, but the customer trust is fragile, especially online. Research shows a pattern of deep frustration. So what are they saying online? What are the frustrations? So number one I see is the aggressive and misleading sales tactics, even digitally. They see promises of free panels or ridiculously exaggerated savings claims online. That's a big problem. They encounter high pressure language even in the digital world, like a real life salesman. They read reviews mentioning bait and switch pricing or feeling tricked into the buying. One customer quote I saw literally said, feels like a scam. So this immediately triggers skepticism. Your website needs to feel like an honest resource, not a digital version of a pushy salesman. All right. On number two is the crippling lack of transparency. Customers complains about vague pricings, confusing processes, timelines, unclear warranty, and so on and so forth. Reviewers are even saying that my neighbor got solar, final cost was thousands more, unexpected upgrades. A couple of another one says nobody explained the permitting timeline. What's the difference between panel and workmanship warranty? The code just says 25 years. Websites that don't explain cost factors and offer only vague estimates create immediate distrust. People are expecting hidden fees. That's how people have been scammed before. Websites often fail to clearly outline the entire process, leading to anxiety and unmet expectations later. And most importantly, if your website is not crystal clear on warranties, you are losing people because they are investing a heavy amount upfront for the installation for the panel. So they need some kind of surety from you. Third major frustration is related to the signs of unreliability and poor support. Even before they become a customer, they are looking for the signs. You will be long term solar guy, right? They read horror stories online, like tried calling support for months for this company and they didn't even pick a call. They replied me like a week later. I mailed them, but they're not responding. So you need to create a great customer support, making them feel like you are the person that they are going to get their solars, right? So if your website looks unprofessional or makes it hard to find a contact info, they assume the support will be just as bad. Now, number four, we have the website specific nightmares. This is my area of expertise. Okay, so trust me, it matters. Customers are explicitly complaining about shallow or useless content, not enough details making to make an informed decision. They're hard to navigate or throughout the website, confusing menus, can't even know where to go, how to contact. So you need to create a very good content copy for your website that will convert and build a trust. Now, the other problem is that outdated design. Most of the solar websites, they're not doing good at websites, and when it comes to online presence, website is your store up front. Some of the websites look like it hasn't even been touched in years. It gives the vibe that you are out of business because they're so old and outdated. Errors and broken features, error pages, forms doesn't work, links are broken, instant credibility killer. So generic stock photos are also a big no for a website. You need to show your original pictures, videos, how you work, who are, post your pictures, describe yourself. And another problem that I see on the website is that mobile responsiveness. Like in 2025, your website is not mobile responsive, you are out of business because obviously most of the users browse through a phone. Look, I get it. You're likely an expert installer managing screws and dealing with, suppliers. You're not necessarily a web designer branding crew. But potential customers don't make that distinction. Your online presence is your storefront. And right now, for many solar businesses, that storefront is unintentionally pushing people away. So what would you do? So what's the antidote, or how do you create a website that will make an impact? So it boils down to a few core needs that I think is there. The first is crystal clear transparency. They want upfront information about the process, steps, prices, solar panel installation, time, step by step guide how all this works. This will take your customer from here to here because now they trust you. Now they have seen your process. They understand, okay, so this is how much it's going to be cost. Use a pricing calculator on your website, create a web calculator. So it will help them, understand how many solar panels to install for. And also especially mention about warranties and incentives, no smokes and mirrors. Okay. Second, they need proof that you are a legitimate solar panel installer because they have experienced bad guys previously and they don't want to get into that. And how do you do that? Post video on your website and YouTube channels, post photos that is taken by you, not using the stock photo, your license and insurance details, certification that you have done previously to, that show that you are a professional and responsible guy. Also, there is a very important thing that is authentic customer testimonials. A video review would be a most powerful one. Proof of stability, your years in business, local area commitment, and this all counts. Okay, so the third way to resolve the frustration and provide a right amount of data to the customer is expert guidance and education. Just like I mentioned before, the solar process is complex. So you need to make sure to guide them, give them good education, post blogs on your website, post right amount of videos that people need to hear about you and how you work. They want you to be a knowledgeable and patient guide, not a person who just wants to install solar panel on their home. They want to be a person who they can trust for future purposes as well, for future any maintenance if it happens. They should feel like they are being informed and they are making an informed decision. For your professionalism and reliability signals, okay, a clean, modern, easy to use, mobile friendly website signals that you are a professional, organized company. They can depend on you and they can depend on for a 20+ year investment. Easy to find, responsive contact options are not negotiable. The fifth thing I think is long-term value, not just price. They want to understand the value, the quality of equipment, and the reliability of your installation. We have seen the problem and desires of a potential customer. So how are we going to bridge the problem and bridge that gap? The answer lies in the strategic branding and website design. Branding is not just your logo, it's the messaging that your company consistently communicates. Your brand needs to scream honestly, expertise, reliability, and customer focus. This directly counters the skepticism caused by the industry horror stories, right? Second, strategic website design. So your website must embed transparency, use clear, straightforward language, have a dedicated R process page detailing every steps, process, how you work, how it works, what should be done, what should not be done. Explain pricing factors honestly, like, roof complexity, equipment choices, display licenses, insurance, and your certifications. Educate and simplify. Let people know what you do, how you do, what is important, what is not important. Explain each and every step, what you do on solar, and what is the best solar, what is the best tech of the solar, why it's the best tech. Even if it's the best tech, do you even need it or not? Maybe some people don't need it, they don't have that requirement. So you need to tell people how you this is how you build trust, when you tell people to save their money, so they are going to obviously trust you. One thing that I forgot to tell you that is frequently asked question section and a dedicated web page for you. Also, there is one more thing that people tends to forget is the CTA, call to action buttons. It should be very clear, like request your free solar assessments or see if you qualify. All of the questions that they have in their mind, you write it down there and give the answers to that. So now they have the clarity. So now they know the price. Now they know what's your process. Now they're educated. Now what do they do is just call you and ask you when are you available to install the solar panel, right? By the time the customer decide to contact you, they're not just a cold lead now. They're educated, they're reassured, pre-convinced that you're a credible, trustworthy person or a partner. Now, that initial sales call becomes a very collaborative planning session, not an uphill battle against distrust. So your closing rates will go up, your sales cycle shortens, and your business grows more predictably. So now talking about this is one thing. If you're serious about fixing this and fixing your website, don't miss my next video, because in that video, I'm going to pull back the curtain, showing you how to build a brand and website strategy that answers every frustration we talked about today. That will be an over the shoulder session where we'll start outlining the branding elements, designing a website structure, designing a content strategy tailored for the solar installation business. We'll look at the page layouts, key content areas, and how visually communicate credibility. So it's your biggest competitive advantage. So I'll see you in the next video, and make sure you subscribe that button, like the video, and hit the notification bell, because that video is going to change your website, your business, and your sales. Let's meet me on the next one.